So I've been riding on the new 1250 fair bit of today, and I thought I'd share this little section with you and just comment on some of the really obvious things that have hit me when I've got on this bike and ridden it after having put many kilometres on the 1200. So the first thing that really hit me when I got on the bike and started riding it was the noise level. I've got the Akrapovic exhaust on this bike. It's the stock pipe that comes with this particular bike in Australia. Really lovely exhaust pipe. Probably lighter than the stock. Makes a really nice note, but it is quite noisy. The 1250 engine, it's very good. The low down torque is very good, it's smooth. No complaints, there's plenty of power there. And I might show you what the low down torque is like if I go right down. Like right now I'm in fourth gear doing 2000 RPM down just a bit of a slope here. Let's have a look at that actually. Let's have a look at how this torque works in this little section. Tree down or something here. Yep. Don't want to hit that. It's very loose gravel there. Another tree down. I'll slow it right down here. I'm in third, so let's have a look at this. We're going on a slight uphill grade, very slight here. 2000 RPM, third gear, upper grade. No problem. Just spectacular. I'll go into fourth and I'll just let the speed come right back off again. So okay, I'm in fourth gear, 2000 RPM. I might even go down a bit. I'll go down to 15 just to... Okay, that's 1500 RPM in fourth gear. Pulls like a train. You probably wouldn't want to go from fourth gear at 1500 RPM too much, but it can do it. Terrific amount of torque, very smooth. Let's go down to third. There's 2000. I'll go down to 1500 RPM in third. There's 1500 RPM in third gear, 29 kilometers an hour. And it's not snatching, it's perfectly fine actually. It's perfectly fine to tonk along at in third gear at just under 30 kilometers an hour. In fact, I'll pull the speed back a bit more. This is third gear. I'll go back down to 1000 RPM and see what happens. Oh, it won't let me. So this is as slow as it'll let me go. This is idle basically. This is idle in third gear, 25 kilometers an hour. And we've got a bit of a hillsy here, so I'll just roll it on. No problem. Amazing. So the engine is just terrific. Actually, while we're on the engine and things related to it, The other neat thing is cruise control. So, I'm in Enduro Pro. In Enduro Pro, just open the visor here. In Enduro Pro, it won't let you operate the cruise control, so we'll just turn the cruise control off. Enduro Pro off, go into road mode. Changed it, we just clutched, so we're in road mode now. But we can turn on cruise control. Okay, there's 30 kilometers an hour with cruise control. Down a bit of a grade here. But the cruise control will just hold the bike at really slow speeds as well as the normal road speeds. That's also pretty interesting. We're going down a bit of a grade here, so the engine braking is holding us back a bit. And if I want to speed up a little bit just with the cruise control, I can just tap on the cruise control and you'll see the green numbers there. That's the speed and it'll pick it up. Okay, it's 41 kilometers an hour with cruise control. And of course, if we change gear, cruise control will go off. Or if we clutch, it'll do anything else. So if I change gear up now, what do you know? I just learnt something. It'll actually hold. I didn't realise that. It'll actually hold the cruise control as you change up. So, there you go. Still holding it. 5th gear. In 5th gear, I just learnt something. 5th gear, 41 kilometers an hour, 1500 RPM. Look at that. I'll go up to 6th. There's 6th. 1500 RPM, 50 kilometers an hour, down a bit of a grade here. Cruise control goes off if you downshift. Going up, it looks like it holds it. Amazing. Excellent. So look at this. Top gear, 41 kilometers an hour. Cruise control is on. We're going down a descent. Just a gentle slope here. It's probably 5%. So the engine at these low revs is just beautifully tractable. It's not snatching. The drivetrain is not snatching. So I can just use the cruise control to increase the speed from 6th. Let's watch this. So I'm increasing the speed in 2 kilometre an hour increments. 1 kilometre an hour increments at the minute. So there's 60 kilometers an hour, 2000 RPM, 6th gear. Let's roll the throttle on and see what happens. I'll turn the cruise control off now. So cruise control's gone. Just roll the throttle on. The braking is spectacular. The braking on these GS's is absolutely spectacular in this current version, and the 1200, same thing. So now I'll show you how the bike brakes in Enduro Pro mode. Pea gravel here. I'll show you again. The braking is in Enduro Pro mode is spectacular. Here we go. I'll brake heavily again. Show you. Straight line, pea gravel. Right. And of course, that's just using the brake on the handlebar lever, just the one brake works the two brake, the right hand lever works the front and back brake. It won't let the front wheel lock, and it just balances the back wheel braking. Now if I just brake with the my foot brake, that'll be the back brake in Enduro Pro mode, it'll lock the back wheel. I'll just show you that now. Down this bit of a grade here, down a bit of a hill, I'll just do the back brake. So we're just skating. Alright. So on all of these roads, all you need to worry about is the brake on the handlebar. And it just does the job. It's amazing. So the engine is definitely better than the 1200, this 1250 engine. It's so tractable. Changing through the gears, here we are, that's 6th gear, 5th gear, 4th gear, 3rd gear. Now I'll go up through the gears just without clutching. Oop. 4th, 5th, 6th. I don't know what it is. Oh, I don't know what it is, but the gear changes both up and down in this 1250 is definitely smoother and better than on the 1200. Now I don't know whether that's some mechanical changes in the shapes of cogs or whatever, or if it's just electronic. Can't tell you, but I can tell you that the gear changes up and down is a lot smoother with the 1250 than on the 1200. So we're in 6th gear, let's go down. So there's 5th, there's 4th, there's 3rd. Oh, it's just way better than the 1200. There's 2nd. I'll go down into 1st. There's 1st. Alright, we'll go up through the gears now. This is without clutching at all. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and if I wind the throttle, it just spins that back wheel right out. So this 4th, let's go into 5th, there's 5th, just brilliant. Now I've left the best to last with respect to these big GS's, in my view anyway. Look, the engine is fantastic, the whole package is brilliant, but the thing for me that is just, and of course there's the matter of a large tank. On the 1200 I was getting 600 kilometres every time out of a tank, and if I went easy I'd get over 700 kilometres out of a tank. That'll give you an idea. 30 litres. This bike will, even though it's a slightly larger capacity, is apparently even more fuel efficient, so you can't complain about any of that. The best thing about these bikes, the suspension. The suspension on these bikes is absolutely astonishing. So I've got my suspension set to Max and Enduro Pro. You'll see that down here. Oops. Max and Enduro Pro. What Max does is just raises the suspension to its maximum, and that's where I'm happy with it. And it's set on Enduro Pro setting. I cannot fault it. It is just brilliant. And of course, everything's about the suspension out here. And we're doing this on a dirt road, but of course it works beautifully on bitumen as well. that. Carnaby cockatoos, magnificent. Now, something I forgot to mention, after 55,000 kilometres on the 1200, about 20,000 kilometres of which would have been on pretty crappy tracks like this one. The suspension degrades, and jumping on this bike, like this is really bad corrugations right here. Getting on this bike after 55,000 k's of hammering on another bike, getting back to new suspension, the difference in new suspension versus suspension that's been worked is actually quite noticeable.